On April 9th, 2025, just before the lunch rush, a maroon 2019 Toyota Camry coasted into my bay with 71,000 miles on the odometer and an owner who looked more relieved than worried. He told me the car had been perfect, dealer maintained from day one, never missed an oil change, never towed, never raced, until last weekend. A faint metallic tap had started on cold mornings. Fuel economy slipped 4 miles per gallon. The transmission held first gear half a second too long. Nothing dramatic, nothing screaming, just enough wrongness for him to know something was off. He kept saying the same line I have heard 1,000 times in this shop. He said I follow the manual. He believed it. I did not have the heart to tell him in that first minute that the manual is exactly what was about to cost him an engine. Today, I am revealing the 9 specific things almost every Toyota owner does after 60,000 miles that quietly destroy a vehicle engineered to run for 300,000. Some of these mistakes are written into the maintenance schedule itself. Some of them are advice your dealer repeats with a straight face. And mistake number 3 is the one I see ending Toyota engines that should have outlived their owners. Here is the uncomfortable truth most people never hear. A Toyota does not die at 200,000 miles because it was a Toyota. It dies because the second 60,000 miles are not maintained the same way the first 60,000 were. The first 60,000 miles of any modern Toyota are forgiving. The factory fluids are fresh, the seals are tight, the carbon has not started accumulating, the transmission has not started running hot, the brake fluid has not absorbed enough moisture to matter. The engine is, in every sense, brand new. Owners get away with everything. Long oil change intervals, ignored fluids, skipped inspections, nothing breaks, nothing complains. Nothing falls apart. And that is the trap. Because somewhere around 60,000 miles, the chemistry inside your vehicle quietly changes. The fluids reach the end of their additive life. The deposits cross the threshold where they stop being film and start being mass. The wear pattern shifts from breaking in to wearing down. And every single habit that was harmless in year 1 becomes destructive in year 6. The owner does not see it happen. The dashboard does not warn them. The car still feels like a Toyota, right up to the moment it does not. Mistake number 1 is treating the transmission like it never needs service. Toyota's own maintenance schedule on many models lists the automatic transmission fluid as fill for life, which sounds reassuring until you read the small print. Life in engineering language means the warranty period, not the lifetime of the vehicle. After 60,000 miles, that fluid has been heat cycled tens of thousands of times. The friction modifiers are exhausted. The detergents are saturated with clutch material. The fluid that left the factory bright pink is now the color of weak coffee. The transmission still shifts, it still drives. But every shift is wearing the clutch packs slightly more than it should, and the difference between a $180 drain and fill at 70,000 miles and a $4,500 rebuild at 140,000 miles is one decision the owner never knew they were making. Mistake number 2 is ignoring the brake fluid. This one almost never makes the conversation, and that is exactly why it matters. Brake fluid is hygroscopic. It absorbs moisture out of the air through the master cylinder, through the rubber lines, through every microscopic seal in the system. After 60,000 miles, that moisture content can reach 4 or 5%. Water boils at a far lower temperature than brake fluid. So when you finally need your brakes hard, down a mountain pass, in an emergency, or in stop-and-go summer traffic, the water in the fluid flashes to steam and your pedal goes soft. Worse, the moisture sits inside the ABS module and the caliper pistons, quietly causing corrosion. I have replaced $1,000 ABS pumps on Toyotas where every other component on the car was perfect. The fluid was original. The owner did not even know there was such a thing as a brake fluid flush. And this brings us to mistake number 3. The one I made this video for. The one that has ended more Toyota engines in my shop than anything else I have ever seen. Stretching your oil change interval past 5,000 miles on a modern Toyota. I know what the maintenance minder says. I know what the dealer service advisor told you. I know the sticker on your windshield says 10,000 miles. And I know your father changed his oil at 3,000 miles for 50 years, and you have decided you are smarter than that. I want you to hear me very carefully. Modern Toyota engines, especially the 2.5-liter A25A, the 2.4-liter turbo, the V35A in the Tundra, and every direct injection or hybrid powertrain Toyota has built in the last decade, are running on oils with a viscosity so thin they look like cooking oil in the bottle. 0W20, 0W16, 0W8 in the newest models. These oils were engineered for fuel economy compliance, not for engine longevity. They thin out faster under heat, they shear faster under load, and once they degrade, they stop protecting the timing chain tensioners, the cam phasers, the variable valve timing solenoids, and the main bearings. I have torn down Toyota engines at 90,000 miles with sludge so thick the oil pickup screen was half clogged. The owner followed the maintenance minder. The owner did exactly what the dealer told them. And the timing chain stretched. The variable valve timing started slipping. The engine threw a P0011 code, and the quote to fix it correctly exceeded the value of the car. Toyota built these engines to last 300,000 miles on 5,000-mile oil changes. They will run anywhere from 90,000 to 130,000 miles on 10,000-mile oil changes, depending on your luck and your driving conditions. The difference is not theoretical. I see it every week. If you do nothing else from this entire video, change your oil every 5,000 miles with a quality full synthetic. Use the correct viscosity, and never let the maintenance minder make this decision for you. This is the mistake that will destroy your engine. Everything else on this list shortens its life. This is the one that ends it. Mistake number 4. Leaving the original spark plugs in past 60,000 miles. Toyota's Iridium plugs are rated for 100,000 to 120,000 miles, and that number is technically true. The plug will fire, the car will run. But the gap widens over those final 30,000 miles. The ignition coils have to work harder to bridge it, and you end up replacing $80 worth of spark plugs and $400 worth of coils at the same appointment, when you could have replaced just the plugs at 60,000 miles. The newer the engine, the more sensitive this becomes. Turbocharged Toyotas in particular, such as the 2.4-liter in the Tacoma and the V35A in the Tundra, run higher cylinder pressures that punish a worn plug far faster than the old naturally aspirated engines did. Replace them early and you save the coils. Replace them late and you replace everything. Mistake number 5 is treating the coolant like water. The pink Toyota Long Life coolant in your radiator is not pink because it looks nice. The color identifies the inhibitor package, the corrosion preventers, the silicate stabilizers, all of which have an active life. After 100,000 miles or 7 years, those inhibitors are spent. The coolant still flows. The temperature gauge still reads normal. But inside the engine, the water pump impeller is starting to pit, the head gasket sealing surface is beginning to corrode, and the heater core is collecting deposits. A coolant flush at 60,000 miles and again at 120,000 miles costs less than a tank of gas. A head gasket on a Camry costs $2,400. Mistake number 6 is letting the throttle body get filthy. Every modern Toyota uses an electronic throttle that depends on a precise, clean butterfly valve to control idle speed and tip in response. Over 60,000 miles, carbon and oil vapor from the PCV system coat that butterfly. The car starts hesitating off the line. The idle hunts when you come to a stop. Fuel economy slides. The dealer plugs in a scanner, finds nothing, and quotes you $400 to perform a throttle body service. That cleaning takes 15 minutes and a can of throttle body cleaner. Do it once around 60,000 miles and again every 30,000 miles after that, and it keeps every Toyota I have ever owned driving like the day it left the lot. Mistake number 7 applies to every Tacoma, 4Runner, Tundra, Sequoia, and Land Cruiser owner watching this. It is ignoring the differential fluid, the transfer case fluid, and the front differential fluid on your four-wheel drive system. These services do not appear on the maintenance minder for most Toyota trucks. They are buried in the back of the owner's manual under severe service intervals, and almost nobody reads that section. The fluid in your rear differential at 80,000 miles, especially if you have ever towed, ever hauled, ever crawled, looks like used motor oil and smells like burning rubber. The gears are still meshing, but the additive package is gone, and the bearings have started shedding metal into the case. A differential service costs $90. A new differential costs $3,000. I have watched Tacoma owners destroy axles at 110,000 miles because they assumed four-wheel drive meant fluid for life. Mistake number 8 is one almost no Toyota owner knows about, and it specifically affects every direct injection engine Toyota has built since around 2010. Carbon buildup on the intake valves. In a port injection engine, fuel sprays across the back of the intake valve every cycle, washing it clean. In a direct injection engine, fuel sprays directly into the cylinder, and the intake valves never see any cleaning. By 60,000 miles, the deposits on those valves can be thick enough to disrupt airflow, reduce power, and cause misfires that the computer barely catches. The fix is a walnut shell blasting service or a chemical induction cleaning. Most Toyota owners have never been told this exists. The symptoms show up slowly: a rough, cold start, fuel economy slipping, a vague hesitation under load. By the time the cylinders are misfiring, the deposits are baked on. Address this around 70,000 miles and you preserve the engine. Ignore it past 120,000 miles and you are looking at a partial top-end disassembly. Mistake number 9, the PCV valve. The smallest part on this entire list, the cheapest part too, $10 at the parts counter, 5 minutes to install. The positive crankcase ventilation valve controls the flow of blow-by gases out of the engine and back into the intake. After 60,000 miles, it sticks. Once it sticks, oil consumption rises, intake deposits accelerate, gaskets get pressurized, and seals start weeping oil. A failed PCV valve has caused more rear main seal replacements than any worn-out seal in history. Replace it. The job is so easy you can do it in your driveway with one wrench. Now here is the uncomfortable part of this entire video. Every single one of these 9 mistakes is invisible. There is no warning light for unflushed brake fluid. There is no warning light for original transmission fluid at 90,000 miles. There is no warning light for carbon buildup on intake valves. The check engine light is not designed to protect your engine from slow decay. It is designed to alert you to emissions failures. And by the time emissions are affected, the damage is already done. Toyota built the most reliable cars in the world. They did not build cars that maintain themselves. The reputation for hitting 300,000 miles was earned by owners who serviced everything religiously, especially after 60,000 miles. The owners I see ending engines at 140,000 miles are not unlucky. They are following a schedule that was written to keep warranties cheap, not to keep engines alive. Here is what I want you to do tonight. Open your glove box. Pull out your maintenance records. If you cannot find a transmission service, a brake fluid flush, a coolant flush, or a differential service somewhere in those records, you now have a list. If you are past 70,000 miles and your last oil change interval was 10,000 miles, schedule the next one at 5,000 miles and never look back. None of these services are expensive. None of them require a dealer. None of them require you to be a mechanic. They require you to know they exist, which is more than 90% of Toyota owners on the road today. If this video saved you from one of these mistakes, hit the like button so more Toyota owners see it. If you want me to walk through the exact intervals for your specific Toyota, Tacoma, 4Runner, Camry, RAV4, Tundra, or Highlander, drop your model and mileage in the comments, and I read every one of them. Subscribe if you want next week's video, where I am exposing the one Toyota service every dealer adds to your bill that does not exist on any Toyota maintenance schedule anywhere in the world. Because the most expensive part of owning a Toyota is not the repairs. It is everything you were never told you needed to do until it was already too late.